Good afternoon and welcome to this November 27th edition of Westman Newsline. I'm Randy Joseph Lilly alongside Dylan Donald and Colton Yarich. Today we'll enlighten you about the pedestrian walkway on the Thompson Bridges and bring you some cautionary advice if you're planning to buy a new vehicle. And Dylan will be in with sports. Dylan, I hear Brandon School did something for the first time on the weekend.
That's right, Randy. The Neelan Spartans senior girls volleyball team won the 4A championship game last night, and they have so in the first time in the school's history. I'll have that plus some NBA news later on in sports.
Thanks, Dylan. And Colton will be in with weather. Colton, in 20 seconds or less, what can we expect in the next couple days?
Well, Randy, I have some good news and bad news. The good news is tomorrow will be a fairly nice day. The bad news, not so much after that. Currently in Brandon, it is cloudy and minus 13, but the wind chill makes it feel more like minus 20. Winds are out of the northwest at 13 kilometers per hour. That's it for now, but I'll be back with all your weather details later on in the show.
Thanks, Colton. Let there be light in 2014. That's when plans to repair the pedestrian walkway lights along the Thompson Bridges will be underway. The transformers and connecting wiring for the bridges were damaged during the 2011 flood, and as a result, pedestrians are being left in the dark. Ian Christensen, the city's Director of Engineering Services and Water Resources, says the street lights were unaffected, but the pedestrian walkway lights will not be fixed until the permanent dike is built. According to Councillor Jeff Fawcett, safety is an issue, but in this case, economics trumps that concern. Christmas is just around the corner. In fact, today on November 27th, there are only 27 shopping days left until the big event. But tomorrow at Assiniboine Community College, Chartwell's, the food services company that runs the main campus cafeteria, is celebrating the advent of the season with an event that all can attend. Newsline's Tamara Pimentel has the story.
Christmas time is here, and the food services at Assiniboine Community College are spreading the holiday spirit. They are having a traditional Christmas dinner right here at the college Wednesday afternoon. ACC's food services manager, Deb Sanders, has been preparing for this event for the past couple days, and with the wide selection of food that is on the menu, still has a lot of work ahead of her.
It's just a really great meal. We'll be roasting turkeys all day tomorrow, and we've got meatballs happening and pierogies, mashed potatoes, buttered corn, and there's going to be a selection of some really nice, comforting Christmas desserts.
All citizens of Brandon are welcome to attend the dinner, but the ones that will benefit it the most will be the students. For the majority, a home-cooked meal is not something they've had for quite some time.
Live at BU, so it'll be nice to have something other than fried chicken, like an actual home-cooked meal for a change.
This annual dinner will be held at Assiniboine Community College on Wednesday, November 28th, from 11 o'clock to 1:15 p.m. For Westman Newsline, I'm Tamara Pimentel.
If you're going to be purchasing a new vehicle, be careful. According to Manitoba Public Insurance, some flood-damaged vehicles could be making their way into the province. Roughly 700,000 vehicles from New York and New Jersey were damaged in the flooding from Hurricane Sandy and might end up in Manitoba. Ward Keith, who is MPI's registrar, says people should beware as a flood-damaged vehicle cannot be registered for road use. Water can also ruin electronic components as well as some safety features like airbags. If you're purchasing a new vehicle, contact MPI for information about how to trace its history. Canadian health officials are recommending Manitobans have their homes tested for radon, an odorless invisible gas that is known to cause cancer. Health Canada recently found that 1 in 5 Manitoba homes have high levels of radon, one of the highest rates in the country. Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer next to tobacco smoking. At-home kits are available to test for radon and are placed in a home's basement for 3 months before being sent to a laboratory. Winnipeg Mayor Sam Cates says there is no similarity between the case that saw Toronto Mayor Rob Ford ordered to give up his office and a lawsuit Cates is facing over conflict of interest allegations. In 2010, Cates played host to a Christmas party for councillors and senior city staff at a Chinese restaurant he owned at the time. The bill for the party came to nearly $3,000 and was paid for by taxpayers. Cates says he used his restaurant because he could do so at a significant discount. But Joe Chan, a competitor who owns another Chinese restaurant in Winnipeg, says it's a conflict of interest and has filed a lawsuit. We'll be right back. We'll take a break here on Westman Newsline. Stay tuned.
Westman Newsline. Produced by the IMA Media Production students of Assiniboine Community College. Local news, weather, and sports on Brandon's only TV newscast, Westman Newsline, airing at 1 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on WCG TV.
Egypt is bracing for mass rallies across the country as the president refuses to back down from a decision to give himself sweeping powers. Protesters flooded into Cairo's Tahrir Square on Monday, and thousands more are expected on the streets today. The country's opposition says this will be its biggest show of public anger so far. Opposition groups accuse President Mohamed Morsi of acting like a modern-day pharaoh. Last week, Morsi announced he was extending his powers beyond the reach of the courts until a new constitution is agreed on. The president tried to ease tensions by meeting senior judges who have criticized his move, but no compromise was reached. There's been no compromise either on the prevailing opinion about a Canadian pop star's wardrobe. Sure, Justin Bieber has a huge following, but he's following a very public dressing down. It's all in response to his attire, if you can call it that, for a meeting with Canada's Prime Minister. Jeannie Mose reports on the Biebs overalls malfunction.
They may be called overalls, but they sure can leave you underdressed.
I see. He's drooping.
When Canada's Prime Minister awarded fellow Canadian Justin Bieber the Diamond Jubilee Medal the other day, Bieber got an online dressing down. So is he a train conductor now? Dresses like an American hillbilly. Is there anything about this that strikes you?
Other than he's dressed inappropriately? Yeah, he looks terrible.
It was the combination of off-the-shoulder overalls, the backwards cap, and the neon yellow shoes. But when London's Daily Mail echoed a blog that called Bieber white trash prince, Bieber fired back, saying that the medal ceremony took place at an arena where he was set to perform and had just had a meet and greet. If you expect me to have a change of clothes, let alone a suit at that specific time, that's crazy. It wasn't like it was like I was going into his environment. We were at a hockey arena. Wow, am I ever white trash?
I actually think it's cute. He looks like a teenager.
So you're Canadian and you don't care?
No, that's part of his persona.
You ever see Steve Jobs in a tie? Nobody wears ties anymore.
Just prime ministers. And Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper seemed amused, tweeting out, "In fairness to Justin Bieber, I told him I would be wearing my overalls too." On Sunday, Bieber performed Boyfriend at Canadian football's Grey Cup halftime show. It was repeatedly booed. We haven't had a fashion mismatch like this since Lady Gaga met the Queen, wearing a red latex dress and panda eye makeup. Actually, Justin, it could have been worse. You could have met the Prime Minister wearing sunglasses or those leather dropped crotch pants. At least the snake you took to the Video Music Awards didn't slither out from under those overalls. Jeannie Mose, CNN.
It does look like they're going to different parties.
New York.
Bieber was awarded Canada's Diamond Jubilee Medal, which goes to Canadians who have made significant contributions or achievements. That's it for news, but don't go away. Colton's up next with Newsline Weather.
Good afternoon. With Newsline Weather, I'm Colton Yarge. Temperatures over the next little while will be like a roller coaster ride, up and down. Currently in Brandon, it's cloudy and -13, but with the wind chill, it feels more like -20. Winds are out of the northwest at 13 kilometers per hour. Tonight will be cloudy and temperatures will be around -17. Winds will be out of the northwest at 15 kilometers per hour. And those clouds will hang around overnight. The temperature will be around -17. Winds will be out of the southwest at 10 kilometers per hour. And taking a look at our radar image now, as you can see, barely any precipitation is expected around the Brandon area, but areas to the southwest can expect flurries from Saskatchewan. And turning to our satellite image now, note these clouds from BC will make their way across the prairies to Manitoba in the coming days. And taking a look at our 5-day forecast, tomorrow we will see a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -5. The low is -17. Winds will be out of the southwest at 10 kilometers per hour. And for Thursday, you might want to book a snow day in advance. Flurries are expected. The high is only -15. Things change again on Friday with a high of -5, the low -17. Winds out of the southeast at 15 kilometers per hour. But that mild weather will hang around for the weekend, but more snow is expected on Saturday. Taking a look around the region right now, Winnipeg is in at -15. Meanwhile, Portage and Neepawa are both in at -13. Dauphin is sitting at -14, as well as Carberry. Killarney checks in at -11. Minnedosa is in at -13, and Vernon will round us out at -11. Seasonal norms for this time of year are a -5 degrees and a low of -15. The record high for this date was a beautiful 7.2 degrees set back in 1962. Our record low was a nasty -32 set back in 1985. Once again in Brandon, it's cloudy and -13, but that wind chill makes it feel more like -20. Winds are out of the northwest at 13 kilometers per hour. That's it for weather, but stick around. Dylan's up next with Newsline Sports.
Good afternoon with Newsline Sports. I'm Dylan Donald. It was an historic win for the Neyland Spartans varsity girls volleyball team Monday night. For the first time in the school's 55 years of existence, the Spartans won the provincial 4A varsity girls high school volleyball banner, and they did it in a big way. After struggling initially, the Spartans stepped up their game and beat the Mennonite Brethren Collegiate Institute Hawks 3-1. Neyland, who was the smallest school in the provincial championship, chose to move up from the AAA to the 4A ranks this season, and judging from Monday's showing, it was up to the challenge. There's a first-place tie in the NBA's Atlantic Division, and both co-leaders reside in New York. The Brooklyn Nets grabbed a share of the lead by downing the Knicks 96-89 in overtime. Brooke Lopez had 22 points and 11 rebounds for the Nets, who improved to 9-4 with their third straight win. Darren Williams added 16 points and 14 assists as the Nets improved to 7-1 in their new home. It was the first meeting between the two clubs since the Nets left New Jersey. The game originally was supposed to be the season opener for both teams, but was postponed due to Superstorm Sandy. For at least one game, Cam Newton was back to his old self. The Panthers quarterback threw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns as Carolina sent the Philadelphia Eagles to their 7th straight loss with a 30-22 win. Newton also rushed for 2 other scores as well. Both teams sit at a disappointing 3-8 on the season. Toronto sports enjoyed a rare treat today, a championship party in their own backyard. The Toronto Argonauts paraded the Grey Cup through the streets of Canada's largest city to celebrate their 35-22 win over the Calgary Stampeders in the 100th edition of the CFL Championship game. City officials are declaring it Toronto Argonauts Day. It's the first championship parade in Toronto since the Argos won the Grey Cup in 2004 and will be a shot in the arm for the city's long-suffering sports fans. Calgary's largest sports market has also been its most underachieving, with baseball's Blue Jays not winning a championship since 1993, hockey's Maple Leafs have been shut out since 1967, and basketball's Raptors and soccer's Toronto FC haven't even come close to being championship contenders. And Randy, that's it for sports.
Thanks, Dylan. So, you know, we have to talk about Justin Bieber, international incident. What do you think?
I think the Twitterverse kind of took it out of context. I mean, of course, overalls might not be the best wardrobe to meet the Prime Minister, but still, at least he was wearing clothing.
I won't say anything negative about Bieber, but I will say that Jethro from the Beverly Hillbillies would not qualify for Classy Tuesday. That's all the time we have for you today. Please join us again tomorrow for Brandon's only TV newscast, Westman Newsline.